Welcome back. I'm Kimberly and this is Floral Art Online. And my apologies for the delayed competition tips for our members this month. But as you can hear, it's only today that I've had a voice strong enough to actually do some video. And if you've looked at any of the other videos, you'll see that actually I've done a number of videos today to try and get through the backlog of ones that I should have done over the last few weeks. So today for our members, our online members, the competition this month for April 2024 is an abstract design, and the title is A Fusion of Colours. Now there have been quite a number of emails to and fro from our support team talking to members about what that actually means and how they can interpret it. So I hope that what I do today will give you some hints as well as what you've got from your mentors within our team. Abstract, in terms of its definition, I'm going to read because I think it's easier for you to understand what the judges would be looking for. And once again, because our judges are international, we give them a very defined area to look at, because abstract would be defined slightly differently in every country. So this is the premise that on which your designs will be assessed at the end of the month. An interest-equated design, emphasising the elements of line, form, space and texture. Balance is dynamic, with no part of the design having so much weight or attraction that it overbalances any other. So it shouldn't be drawn to any particular part of the design. Very different to traditional designs where you're looking for a focal point. This is interest-equated, so it's all over the design that's interesting. Natural growth habits of plant material are ignored, and elimination of unnecessary detail is essential. So you'll see in a minute what I've done as a suggestion. A dominating element should be evident. For example, vertical lines, and you'll see here that I'm going to use diagonal lines as my dominant element. This ensures unity, but strong contrasts add excitement. So what I've got in this design, you'll see in a minute, is diagonal lines, but not all the same way, diagonally, but I've also got the circular form, which is going to add that excitement and that interest. The design may be expressive, in which the organisation of all elements expresses an idea or a theme, so that would be the fusion of colours, or non-objective, creating an awareness of the essence or the characteristics of the material, so the form, the line, the texture. So if this just was put down as an abstract design, then you would do it in terms of featuring the form or the line or your dominant area that you want to express, colour perhaps, or texture. In terms of it being an expressive or interpretive abstract, you do all of those things, but the emphasis should be on the plant material, but manufactured or embellishments can be used. So in this instance, I'm not using anything that isn't plant material, but I'm going to show you now what my suggestion is for you for this month, or things for you to think about this month. And then at the end of that, I'm actually going to show you something that I've discovered very recently. There's a bit of a technique that you might or might not use for this one, but you could use it across the board for all sorts of designs. And it's pretty interesting. It's interesting for me because it's a product that we actually eat every day, so I've always got plenty of supply. So as I said, what I've got is this, the basis of this design. What I'm looking at is making it interesting, interest-equated. So I've picked the diagonal line because the circles are quite dominant. So this is a stand. These two rings are a stand that I got at Spotlight and had some awful plastic bamboo-y material on it. But I could see that the stand underneath was going to be useful for me, so I bought it on the basis of getting the stand. These are standard embroidery hoops, just covered with black furry wool, so it gives me a different texture, as well as I can give that the diagonal line that is opposite to the diagonal line that I'm using for the plant material. So I won't place anything that isn't plant material in this diagonal line. All the plant material will go in the other diagonal. So these are wires onto which I have threaded a silver dollar leaf, and it's dried out a little bit now. This one's actually got rolled Gymea leaf in between the silver dollar, so it makes it a little bit more interesting, changes the dynamic of that. gives it a bit of excitement, as we heard in the theory, in the definition, I should say, but not all the way down, because I don't want it to be static. I want it to be interesting and developing in that sense. And this one is the stems from some leucodendrons that I used in another design, and they've been tatami together, making sure that I alternated the colour of the stems. So once again, gives us a bit of interest, and that is part of the fusion of the colours. So a fusion of colours to me doesn't mean that it has to be bright and take your eye out with the colour. I think what it means is that the colours fuse together. So it's the fusion of the colours. What I had hoped to, so what I've got is another roll of the just straight Gaimea leaf that's been rolled, that I'll put probably, I would put probably there. See, our tendency would to put it there so that we've got the matching here, but we want it to be a little bit more dynamic than that. We don't want it to be just so very structured in its placement. So I might think about putting it there. I might not put it in at all. I'll put it in for now, so you can see. Once again, what I would suggest, if this was for competition, that I already had this rolled and ready to go from a workshop that I did recently for some locals, but so it's dried all of the same colour. But if this was fresh, it would be very bright green, so it's fusing the bright green with the darker green colours. So the fusion would be there with the green in the stems that's still there, with the darker brown that some of those stems have gone, which matches some of where it's dried there. Now what I brought along were some chrysanthemums that are a multicoloured one. And so what I would suggest, if you're looking to put flowers in, look for something that's got a few colours in it, where it is a fusion of colours within the plant material itself. I've chosen the chrysanthemums because they've got that circular shape, but I don't want it to dominate the line here, so there will only be minimal placements of these. It does have the green, so I'm bringing a different green into the fusion of the colours there. And placement wise, it's going to be in the same line as the other diagonals, but I've got a space up here. Once again, remember the growing pattern has to be ignored, so it's going to have to be placed like that rather than in a vial. So I'll get the vial to put it there. That one's slipped off a bit. What I could do is utilise the wool and have it so that it was twisted through. And what I'd probably do is place another couple here so that it's massed in a sense, but not anywhere else in the design. So that would be my suggestion, is choose a colour scheme that you're going to use, look for a fusion of tints and tones and shades in that colour. Might be the easiest way for you, rather than to try and make it too multicoloured, which is not what the judges are looking for. They're not looking for lots of colours, a mad mix of colours. They're looking for a fusion of colours, so coming together of the colours, but in the abstract form, so making sure that it is interest equated, so it's interesting all over, and that you've got one element that is dominant, whether it's line, whether it's form, whether it's texture or colour. So they are my hints for this month. I wish you all well, and I will see you again next month. I'm Kim Bailey, and this is Floral Art Online.